What's up, badass Blade Soul Revolutionists? In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about stamina, which is a much talked about topic on server chats, in Discord, servers, all across the game's platform right now. A big part of the conversation is about stamina. What do you do with stamina? My stamina runs out so quickly. The experience buff isn't worth it. All that good stuff. People are curious, and I'm going to try to cover as much of it I can in this video. I am going to just talk off the whim here. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. So without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, so first of all, stamina you can find in the top here. You can turn it on and off with this button right here. So on, off. I recommend keeping it off until specific times, so not time of the day, but for when you're doing specific things. I will cover that in a moment. But first, let's talk about stamina. All right, if you click on the little exclamation mark up here, or question mark, I'm sorry, not exclamation, you can get some info on stamina. If you're above 100 on your stamina, you get very high, which increases your experience gains and silver gains. So 300 for experience and 100 for silver. If you're at a 70 to 100, you get 100% experience, 50% silver. You can see all those right here. And if you're from 70 to 0, you get standard experience gains, and then at 0, you gain nothing. So no item drops included in that. So if you're killing monsters and you're wondering why you're not getting any more drops, this is why. If you have the stamina bar off as well, that's like having 0 stamina. I know a couple people had that question. So if the bar's off, you're not getting any drops either. So some people were like, oh, hey, maybe if I turn the stamina bar off, I at least still get the drops. Well, that's not the case. Unfortunately, when your stamina is out, it's out. You don't get any mob drops, nothing like that. And I know there's experience buffs like the Hajun one. I do believe I have it active right here. So we have the Hajun's Blessing, 40% experience gain, 20% silver gain, 10% item drops. And I did get that for free. It was 7 days, maybe 6 days. I'm not sure exactly. But any experience buffs do use your stamina. So the more experience you gain, the quicker you lose your stamina. So sometimes it's not ideal to have those buffs active because you want to use less stamina. Depends on the conquest mission, the contribution mission, what you're trying to accomplish. All right, let's go back in here real quick. Oh, I turned it on. Hold on, we got to turn it back off. All right, so let's go back in here. What else do we have? You can see your stamina up there at the top there, yada yada. We're good with that. Nothing crazy. Incense burner, so you can pop an incense burner, at a town. You do also gain stamina back regularly by staying in the town. So if you go back into the town and you to do some crafting stuff, to sell some stuff, you typically don't need to pop this burner because you gain pretty good amount of your stamina back while you're still standing there getting some other stuff done. If you want it to go quicker, you can use one of these. You can also borrow one if you see it on the ground, somebody else's, whatever. You can use theirs as well. Every day at 4 a.m., I believe it depends on where you're at. For me, it's 3 a.m. It is 6 a.m. server time. So for me, it's 6 a.m. server time. You'll have to figure out what it is for you guys. I'm not sure if everybody's the same, but for West Coast, United States of America, it's 3 a.m. for me. If you're East Coast, United States of America, it's 6 a.m. for you. Stamina refreshes at high level at 120. You also can charge 200 of stamina. You don't need to relog for your stamina to refresh, so you do get 220, I want to say, stamina every day. And so once you run out of that 120, you can refresh your stamina, but when you refresh it, it'll never go back to the 120. You only get 20 total stamina per day at the very high range. Otherwise, when you refresh it, it'll go back to the first time, it'll go back to high 100, and then the second time it'll only go to medium. And you can see what's left over by stamina to recover. If you see right here, it says 90. So you can see stamina to recover is 90. Let's see if I can just show you. 220 stamina because I was at 120. Stamina to recover right here is 100. High, I get 30 total stamina at the high range, and the rest of it is at 70. So of the remaining stamina I have left over, 30 of it would be at the high range. So essentially what I would do is use all of the 120 stamina I have now, go back into a town, refresh the stamina I have to 100, 30 of it would be at high, and 70 of it would be at normal. All right, so incense burners, yeah, all that's good there. And that's pretty much everything there. It doesn't really tell you too much else aside from that. Now, where to use your stamina, what should you do with your stamina is the big question. I know a lot of people are upset. Oh, man, when I'm out of stamina, what should I do for the rest of the day? Well, A, you should be doing your main storyline quest. You still gain experience from your main storyline quest and those blue quests that pop up on right underneath it, your blue side quest. You do the experience from those, and it's a good amount of experience. You can see here I'm level 125. I am a 100% free-to-play player, ranked 144, nothing too crazy there. I haven't used my stamina for the day either yet, so once I do, I'll probably pop up to 127, maybe 128, get my rank higher. But that's 125 without using my stamina yet for the day, and that's a pretty solid. Now, you do want to use your stamina at very specific times, but on a quick side note, experience buffs, whether it's your pet or any the standard buffs like the Hajun's Blessing or any other experience buffs, do still work in dungeons. You still get your drops in dungeons. They still work in these dungeons, so the buffs and experience buffs do help just aside from killing monsters. All right, so that's what else you can do when your stamina's out. You can do your dungeon. You can do your main story quest. You can do your blue quest, because I know a lot of people keep asking that question, what should I do when my stamina's out? There's plenty. There's plenty to do. Main storyline quests, side quests, dungeons, daily dungeons, battlefield. Go to your faction. Go to your faction and get some faction points. You see here, I got 22,000. I'm ranked 21. Go to your faction and kill some mobs. Kill some other players. It's pretty fun. Try it out. All right, back on topic. You can do field bosses and world bosses as well. Definitely want to do all that stuff. But what do you do with your stamina? That's a big question. I highly advise you to do your contribution, because contribution requires you to kill monsters in zones. So let's say Viridian Coast. Let's say Dragon Scale. It requires you to kill monsters here. Oh, I already have that one done. All right. So it requires me to kill monsters here. Now, I can kill those monsters without stamina, and they don't count. That's not the problem. The problem is these drops. You need these drops to be dropping from monsters, and if you don't have stamina, you're not getting the drops. So you definitely want to use your stamina on the drops. And if you go back to early zones, what I would recommend is at least keeping some stamina left over to be able to go back to these early zones, because they don't give very much experience, especially when you're level 100, especially the first zone. So I would recommend going back to these zones, killing these mobs, so that way you get the drops to be able to complete your contribution. That is very key. That's from the synopsis that I get from most players. That's the number one thing you should be doing with your stamina, is going back and getting your contribution completed. The next one is also your event. So they do have an event right now. I got to be honest, it's not the most ideal event. What do we got here? 1 second, I got to find it. I haven't been really doing it too much, focusing on it. Okay, here, yeah. So it's conquest missions. So you have to clear Dragon Scale conquest missions. Now, I haven't been focusing on it too much. It's only 75,000 experience. Well, yes, it's experience. It's not a whole lot, especially when you're at level 125. That 75,000 would give me like 2% experience. And then you do get 5 here as well. So you're getting 125,000, and then 10 down here, you're getting 225,000. So yeah, you want to do it. It is rewards, but it is something else that you want to do. Now, some of the conquest missions, what I've found is you can't even complete them with the amount of stamina that you have in the total time frame. Now, if you wait until you're higher level and then come back and do these like I have, you're not going to get as much experience from these monsters, which means you'll be able to kill more of these monsters and get these conquest missions complete. So I am waiting to do these. You do have some time on these events, so I'm waiting to do these Clear Dragon Scale conquest mission, the Scorching Sands conquest mission, and the Spirestone Canyon conquest mission. I'm waiting a little bit further to come back and complete these, so that way I get the rewards. You definitely want to complete them for this up here at least, though, which increases to 100, permanently increases maximum weight capacity by 100. So, it's nothing crazy, but it does help. So an extra 100 weight. But that's the main reason, not for the experience or anything like that, because of this goodie up top here. So that's the second thing you want to use your stamina on, is completing those 3 specific conquest missions. So Dragon Scale, Scorching Sands, and Spirestone. Yes, your stamina gets chewed up. I mean, I could plow through this stamina in 15 minutes if I had. I don't even keep my pet equipped, the pet that gives me experience. I don't even keep that pet equipped, because it chews through my experience a lot quicker. I do have this pet, 21% experience gains. I tried it yesterday. I had him equipped, and I plowed through experience even quicker. So I typically don't. I'm just not going to keep him equipped, especially because I want to get contribution. I want the drops more than the experience with stamina. Stamina, you don't want the experience as much. While it is important, yeah, sure, and it helps you gain your levels, but it's not the most important part of the feature there. It's the drops to get your contribution up. So that is that. I believe that's everything on the stamina tab. I don't want to get too crazy on it. You can see view current stamina bonuses here. You can, oh, big part is your pet too. Very important, very, very, very important. You want a higher level pet because they do reduce the amount of stamina that you consume. So my pet is green. I'm free to play, rocking it. 48% experience decrease rate. So I decrease my stamina usage by 48%. Blue pets, purple pets, and then orange pets are going to give higher percentage of these, so you want the better pets so that way you don't use stamina as much. The less stamina you use means you can use it more and it'll last longer, etc. So you definitely want that as well. All right. And conquest missions are only available if you have stamina. Back to that event tab. If you don't have stamina, conquest missions are going to show up as a red circle up there. And let's say you started one of those event conquest missions. Don't cancel or quit the conquest mission until you have it completed, because that's the part you have to have it completed. That is everything on stamina. Yes, it's a intricate system in Blade Soul Revolution. I feel like people are getting a little carried away about it. It plays a purpose and a role. I do feel like it could be a little better, especially with the contribution aspect and part of the drops, because you don't get any drops from monsters if you don't have any stamina. So yeah, I feel like it can be better in that aspect. But overall, I get it. It's not that huge of a deal. I'm still up there in levels. I still get my main story and side quests done. Those still give me experience. There's still a lot of other ways to get experience aside from the stamina. The biggest feature with the stamina is the drops themselves. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this helps you understand stamina a little bit better. With that being said, I will see you next time.